is figured out before we get finished. Okay, so we're on our neck exercise. In our second one, I start out that same way towards our chin and chest. I drop one hand down, follow this other hand towards our, as we look towards our shoulder, come back to the front, switch hands, and look towards the other shoulder till you feel a little bit of stretch. You don't have to go as far as you can go. Just go until you feel that stretch. And then come back to the front. This works on that range of motion of our neck and helps us with everyday activities. This is probably where I hold the most tension. So that, you know, we all hold tension different places. So my neck usually could always use a good stretching.
Yep.
Let's rotate those shoulders forward, small circles. And then roll those shoulders back, like a little massage you give yourself. Roll those shoulders forward and roll them back. Let's do that shoulder circle where we bring those hands up and then we push down in front of us. I inhale as I come up, and then whenever I'm ready, push down and exhale. And one more. I like this one for just calming myself down. Now, last week I talked about having to call insurance. That's when I have to do that movement. This week it's ordering contacts for my daughter. Ooh, I needed to do that relaxing. Let's get our ball. Let's separate the heavens and the earth. We're going to push down with the hand that's on top and then come up. Stretch that spine vertically. Come back to our ball and switch. Stretching that spine. This is that hello and good morning sunshine stretch. I know a lot of people do this one before they even get out of bed. Stretching that spine. In terms of breathing, I like to breathe as I gather that ball. And then as I separate my hands, I like to exhale. So you can play around with that breathing and see what works best for you.
Do you put the palm, show the palm up or the palm down when you push up?
When I push up, I push my palm
Okay.
up. But not everybody may be able to move their hand that much because it would be the range of motion of your wrist. So don't feel like you're doing it wrong if you can't flatten your hand out like that, or if you can't keep it above your head. You may have to have it a little over here. You might not be able to do here because you can feel the difference in your shoulder. If you're more in here, if you don't have a good range of motion of your shoulder, that may hurt. So come out a little bit and stretch. The main thing is that you're stretching that spine. But yeah, when I push up towards the ceiling, my palm is just like I'm pushing it. And when I'm pushing down towards the floor, my palm is down just like I'm pushing the floor. So you're pushing just like you're separating the heavens and the earth. That's what it's called. Push and push.
Okay.
So we have our ball, and the hand that's on top goes down, and the hand that's on bottom comes up. Just like stretching vertically. Let's take this ball and let's take it for a ride. The hand that's on top tells us the direction. We come over just above that leg, switch our hands, come back across, switch, come back across. This is that exact movement that we do in waving hands and clouds. So when we talk about turn in waving hands and clouds, it's that same movement. Turn, switch our hands, turn, switch our hands. This stretches our spine horizontally. So side to side, we stretch our spine. Come back to center. So just as a reminder for that movement, we stay in our frame. So we don't go way over here with our ball, because if we were to go way over here, then that would actually hurt our spine. It hurts to go that far, and it starts pulling on my knee and starts hurting my knee. So just a small movement, just a small movement. Just like turn in waving hands and clouds. It's that torso movement, that torso going side to side. So that warm-up move prepares us for waving hands and clouds. All right, so next we start getting to our lower body, starting with our hips. We're going to shift our weight to one side. Wait, yeah. We did both spine exercises. I'm sorry. I was throwing myself off because I talked about waving hands and clouds. All right, for our hips, we shift our weight to one leg. We place our heel forward, our hands go to the back, pause in the middle. As we switch, toe back, hands forward. Come back to the middle, heel forward, hands back. Pause and toe back, hands forward. Back to center. Let's shift the weight to the other leg. Heel forward, hands back. Pause. Toe back, hands forward. Switch. Feel myself wobbling a little bit, and that happens sometimes. But the wobble is not the bad thing. What would be the bad thing is if we fail, if we hit the flow. So the wobble, if you ever catch yourself wobbling a little bit and then you catch yourself, what that is those muscles that surround your joints, they're being strong and they're trying to help you out. So that's why we do Tai Chi, where we shift our weight from one leg to the other, and that makes those muscles strong. So if you're ever in a wobbly situation, you can help catch yourself. If you're ever in a wobbly situation where all your weight is on one leg and you start to wobble and you don't think you're going to be able to catch yourself, what's a smart thing to do? Put that other foot. Yeah. I don't think you got to keep that foot off the floor just because Tai Chi girl said to do it. Protect yourself. Be okay with that wobble, but then if you see, I'm not finding my balance, put the foot down and catch your balance. Catch yourself. I don't want you to fall. But keep that in mind that the wobble's not bad. What's bad is if you fall. All right, so for we did this leg? Yes, we did this leg. All right, I got spring fever, y'all. So let's do the shifting the weight from one leg to the other leg. Okay, so here's that weight shift, how we're making those little muscles strong. We take our hands, they're stacked. It's like we're opening a curtain as we shift the weight, and we can tap that foot out to the side. Bring it back, switch our hands, shift, tap out, bring it back in, switch, shift, tap, back in, switch, shift, tap, back in, shifting that weight from side to side. So reminders of this movement, here's a couple things. Our hands, here they're stacked. As we shift our weight, our hands go into the direction of the weight we shift. We might think, oh, I can go way over here. But that wouldn't be a good thing, because if we went way over here, then our body starts leaning and that's falling. So we stay in our frame, only go to the edge of our bodies right there, then turn, shift, and stop right there. So don't feel like you have to go too far, because I don't want you to fall. I want you to stay upright and stay within your frame with your movements. Another thing about shifting weight, so if I'm shifting that weight, I get right here and all my weight's on this leg. And now my instruction is to lift this foot and tap out. Well, maybe you're a little scared to do that. Maybe you feel a little off balance. So skip that part. Just keep your foot on the, just keep your foot right there, even though there's no weight on it. And then shift. Keep that foot right there, even though there's no weight on it. Shift. Keep that foot there, no, even though there's no weight on it. So then that way, you're not completely giving everything to this leg to lift that one and tap it out. And that's only if maybe you're having a bad balance day, or maybe you don't have good balance and you're not ready for that. So don't think you're doing it wrong if you skip that tap out. Shift, step out. The most important thing is that you're shifting weight from one leg to the other leg. Hold on to a chair if you have problems or worries about balance. This is my invisible clear chair I'm holding on to. I'm forgetting the hand movement, but I'm shifting the weight from side to side, because that's what's important in terms of warming up my hips. So if you have that chair, maybe that makes you feel more comfortable to tap out to the side, because you can rely on that chair to help support your weight. So that gives you some options for days that you have good days and days that you have bad days with your balance. Always listen to your body. When your body says that's enough, then don't try to push it, because I don't want you to hurt yourself. Next is for our knees. We have loose fists, like we're holding an egg that we don't want to break. I have it down here by my hips. I'm going to shift the weight to one leg. I'm going to lift the other, tap out that toe, and I'm going to punch my opposite arm out. Bring it back, shift, lift, tap and punch, bring it back, shift, lift, tap and punch, shift, lift, tap and punch, shift, lift, tap and punch, shift, lift, tap and punch. Last time, shift, lift, tap and punch. Now we're going to step forward, shift the weight, step, shift to that front leg as I punch. Come back, feet side by side. Shift, step, shift as I punch. Bring it back, feet side by side. Shift, step, shift and punch. Bring it back, side by side. Shift, step, shift and punch. Shift back. Remember to keep that back foot on the floor. Keeping that body upright, even though we're shifting the weight to that front foot. Very good. Any questions about those hip exercises or our knee exercises? You're good. Ma'am?
Sideways. I want to see your feet.
Okay, which one? All of them?
Yeah, when you I know that when you last one.
The punch?
The last one. The punch. You put your feet down, then you
punch them.
Uh-huh.
Okay. So the first punching one, remember we have our loose fist down here by our hips. We're gonna shift our weight, tap that toe out, and punch the opposite hand. So notice
the opposite hand
stays upright. Shift, lift, tap and punch. So if you really want to challenge yourself, you can put that toe up a little higher, kind of like a small kick. And that's if you're really trusting yourself and you have good balance. But no matter what, your body stays upright. The other knee exercise, there's the weight shift. Now I'm going to step heel toe. So you see that's a really small step forward. I'm going to keep my back foot flat on the ground. I'm going to shift the weight to this front foot. Shift as I punch that opposite hand. Shift the weight back. Bring the feet side by side. Shift. Step heel toe. Shift and punch. Bring it back. Feet side by side. So it's good that you asked for a side view because it shows you that my body stays upright.
Yeah.
I shift that weight to that front foot. It's harder to see from this angle. So was that helpful?
Yes, because my whole body goes instead of trying to.
Okay, let's talk about that for a second. So if I step forward, okay, let's say I'm ignoring what I was told about keeping that back foot on the floor. I really don't want to do that. I want to lift that heel off the floor. So I'm going to lift that heel off the floor and go forward. You see what my body is doing? My body's going forward versus here. So I'm more stable.
See, yeah.
If you bring that heel off the floor, that makes your whole body go forward, just like your heel comes up, your body goes forward. So we don't want to go forward. We don't want to fall forward. We don't want to fall sideways. We want to keep our bodies upright. Now, that stance that we're in when we do that knee warm-up stretch right here, that's called a staggered stance. That is a very stable stance. So if you're out and about in the world and you're having to stand up maybe for a long period of time and that's difficult for you, I have good balance and it gets exhausting to stand in line. So use that staggered stance and you're at your most stable stance. Here my body is, I have good upright posture. My staggered stance helps keep me stable. So if somebody were to come along and bump into me, then I have some movement here. If I'm standing with my feet together and somebody bumps me, and I fell.
Yeah, okay.
So that's a staggered stance.
Okay.
So if you're having to stand this way. Maybe you start getting a little tired, switch your legs, stand staggered stance this way.
That's a good idea. Okay.
So if you think about a wrestler does not want to get down on that mat. That's how they lose, right? To get their shoulders put to the mat. When they start their match, they're here. They're at a staggered stance because that's most stable. They're here waiting for their opponent to come at them so they can maneuver themselves to be the one that's on top, the one that's in charge. So that's where I see the staggered stance used for the sake of stability. But right there was a big squat. And that's a whole different kind of exercise when you squat down. We just want to use that staggered stance so that we're stable. And then we have some movement here. If somebody bumps us, and we can use the bend of that knee. Woo, you just bumped into me, and then I'm back stable. So think about that whenever you're having to stand.
That's a good idea.
So you have that feet at shoulder width apart. That's a very stable stance. This here with your feet close together, not stable. So here is a good stable stance, but staggered stance is even better. So you can move your weight and your legs around anytime that you're having to stand to help support your body. In Tai Chi, we switch our weight. We shift and shift our weight. That helps make our muscles strong so that when we're out and about in the world, then we're able to protect ourselves from falling. That's why Tai Chi is evidence-based, proven to help you with falls prevention. It's the weight transfer. All right, so let's do our ankle now, where we shift the weight to one leg and then go heel, toe. We're just rocking that foot. Let me turn to the side. Heel, toe, heel, toe. Range of motion of our ankle joint. Shift to the other foot. Heel, toe, heel, toe. This helps with your circulation. So, excuse me. If you ever sit down a lot, you do this little movement while you're seated or sitting, sitting, whatever the right English is. When you're sitting down, and it helps circulation in your legs. What it doesn't help is when you get a cramp in your foot.
Ooh, yeah.
Happened to me yesterday in class from the same exact movement. Woo-hoo. I'm going to take that shoe off. All right, so our other one, we take our foot side to side. So big toe, little toe, big toe, little toe. I don't recommend being barefoot, especially if it's in an unfamiliar environment, because there may be something on the floor, especially if you're a diabetic. If you were to get something in your foot, you may not even realize it. So this is one of those moments where you just do as I say, not as I do. Is that fair? But really, if you are diabetic, you may have neuropathy, I know a lady who had such bad neuropathy that she walked around with
Yeah.
one of those push pins in her foot and she didn't even know it. And so she nearly about lost her foot because of it. All right, so here we go. We're going to do our basic 6 Tai Chi from commencement all the way through to open and close, single whip, waving hands in clouds, to the end of open and close and closing it out. So we'll do that several times and have our different focuses. So make an effort to make sure you're breathing and not holding your breath. Here we are. Stable stance. Carrying our 2 for commencement. Now here we go. And commence, up and down, shift that weight. Step, bring those hands up, shift, bring the foot forward, hands come back, open and close. Single whip, shift left, step right, push, turn, separate, following that left hand, sink, shift left, bring that right foot back. Oh, you're leaving that hand up. All right, here we go. Waving hands in clouds. Switch, step. Oh, I left the wrong hand up. Switch. I told y'all had to be patient with me with new waving hands in clouds. Okay, so this hand stays up. Switch, step. Now we turn. Switch, step, turn. Switch, step, turn. Switch, step, turn. Switch, step, turn. Switch, turn. To the middle for open and close. Single whip. Push, turn, separate, following that right hand. Shift, waving hands in clouds. Switch, step, turn. 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 To the middle for open and close. And close it out. Now, have you thought about when you're shifting weight on the waving hands in clouds? Because I know that that's not the word, a word that you said whenever you did waving hands in clouds, but you had to do it or else you couldn't have stepped. So have you thought about at what point do you shift weight? Have you thought about that? So let's do it. Let's go from that single whip and let's think about that, where we shift left, step right, push, turn, separate, following that left hand, shift left, bring that right foot back. Now here we go, waving hands in clouds. Switch our hands, step, turn. Switch, 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 step, turn. Open and close. single whip, shift right, step left, push, turn, separate, following that right hand, bring that left foot back, hand down, waving hands in clouds, switch, step, turn, switch, step, turn, switch, step, turn, switch, whoops, switch, step, turn, switch, step, turn, switch, step, turn. To the middle for open and close. Close it out. Did you feel at what point did you shift weight?
Yes, when you say left, okay, this is my right here.
Yes.
So
I have a problem with the hand and the legs
So-
at the same time.
your right is on the other side.
Yeah, because I'm facing you and not doing mirror image. Do you want me to try to turn around and see if that helps you?
So, well, I would know you're opposite of me. So if you
Yes.
say left, then I go right
That's right.
over here. I mean,
Yes, it's opposite. And I'm
It's
sorry that it is confusing. It is
Uh-huh.
confusing because I'm saying to the right, but you're saying left.
okay,
But even
okay.
if I'm doing
My right is this way, and your right is the other way,
Right.
right? Okay.
Now, did Robin teach in mirror image? So whenever she said, hold on, let me try to do this. All right, single whip, shift left, step right, push, turn, separate, following that left hand, sink.
Uh-huh.
Is that how Robin taught?
I guess so, cause whenever she say right, then
She moved in
I
mirror
go
image.
right.
All right, let me try it. You know, I'm up for trying just about anything. So that doesn't mean I'm gonna be good at it.
look, my problem, that's not my problem. Even if I'm going the opposite of what you're doing, I just want to get the movement.
Okay.
That's my problem. I just want to make sure I get the movement. So I don't have no problem if you're going right and I'm going left, long as I'm doing what you say do, I'm just going the opposite way. But I need to get the correct movement.
Okay.
Trying to say when I see I'm so left, seem like I'm 2 left feet. That's my problem. But I don't want to hold up the class, but I'm gonna keep doing until I catch up. Okay.
So whenever we say switch and we talk about our hands and then step and
Yeah,
then turn, switch, step, turn, switch, step, turn.
Okay.
So that's a lot of stuff going on at one time.
Yeah.
Where I found myself doing the shift was when I switched my hands. I didn't know when y'all were doing the switch. I was curious to know when you were. Whenever I typically do this, because I'm trying to say the right words to help y'all, I do step, switch, turn, and then shift, step, switch, turn, So I call out the shift so that you remember to shift.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, that's fine. You doing good. It's just me trying to. I like what you're doing.
You like to add in the word of shift. That gives you,
And the thing
otherwise
about it,
you're doing shift in there. You just weren't talking about it. I knew y'all were doing it because you can't step without shifting.
Yeah.
You cannot take weight off of your,
it doesn't matter whether it's in the left or the right, as long as we
Doing
Mhm.
that. Yeah.
most
spin
of
the
the
word.
time, I'll do it when you do it. So
Well, I'm gonna try doing mirror image. Like I said, I don't know if I'll be good at it, but I'm gonna try. So that way you'll see if that's helpful for you. All right. If you're not going the same way as me, you'll go the other way in a minute. I mean, it will all work itself out. It's not a big deal. As long as you're following principles of Tai Chi where you have an upright posture, you're not leaning forward, backward, side or side. You're not, or you are shifting weight. And then your movement just being slow, smooth, and continuous. You know, yes, the movements have right and left instruction, but you go to one side and then you go to the other, so it evens itself out. So don't beat yourself up if you're going the wrong way.
Yeah.
If you're fixing to go the other way. But I'm gonna try to do it mirror image. So let's give it a try. So starting from commencement. Woo! This is going to use every one of my brain cells. Okay, here we go. And commence. Open and close. Let me back up so I can see my feet. Single whip. Waving hands and clouds. Hold on. I'm going to go that way. So I have my weight on the wrong foot. Switch. Hold on. Let me back up to my single whip. So, okay, we're going to single whip, shift, step, push, turn, separate. Waving hands and clouds. I know what I'm doing. I wasn't leaving enough room. Okay. Switch, step, turn, shift, 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 switch, step, turn. To the middle for open and close. Single whip. Shift, step, push, turn, separate, shift, bring that foot back, waving hands and clouds, switch, step, turn, shift, switch, step, turn, shift, switch, step, turn, shift, switch, step, turn, shift, switch, step, turn to the middle for open and close. Close it out. Was that helpful? I've not one time said right or left because I couldn't move my right and say left.
It's fine like that. You don't have to say left or right.
I
I just do what you do.
That's me.
All right. So that was mind-boggling. Let's do it again. This is what keeps our brains working good. So
Oh,
now
yeah.
I know I gotta start over here because I'm moving that way first.
Mhm.
Okay, that's what I didn't do the first time. So each time we'll get better and better. So here we go. And commence. Oops, sorry. Open and close. Single whip. Waving hands in clouds. Open and close. Single whip. Waving hands in clouds. The middle for open and close. Close it out. That felt a little more smooth.
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
Now, whether I went 3 steps or 3.5 steps, I'm not sure. But always remember that if we do 3.5 steps or 4 steps, that's okay. What matters is that we're shifting weight. We're
Yeah.
doing the movements because what we're trying to do here is get the benefits from Tai Chi. We're not going to some Tai Chi like exposition where we're going on stage and we're being judged at who does the best Tai Chi. We're not preparing for that. We're preparing to get the benefits. We want our muscles to be strong so that we don't fall. We want to be able to relax whenever we
Yeah.
may feel a little bit stressed.
Mhm.
We want to not have pain from arthritis.
Right.
That's our goals. So
Yeah.
we don't want to worry too much about how many and if we did left when we should have done right. The main thing is we're slowing down, we're making that step, we're shifting that weight. You know, we're doing the movements with the Tai Chi principles. That's how we get the benefits, right? That's how we get the benefits. That's what's important, is that we're following the principles. So, you know, I don't want you to, I know we want to do it right. We do. And I want you to learn it and I want you to do the right things. I just want you to forgive yourself if it's not perfect.
Mhm.
Okay.
That's for everything, right? All right, so let's do it one more time and then we'll do our cool down. But we'll end on a really good note. So I'm gonna start over here because I'm going that way first. Okay, so here we go. And commence. Open and close. Single whip. Waving hands in clouds. To the middle for open and close. Single whip. Waving hands in clouds.
Okay.
That was even better, wasn't it? We forgave ourselves of perfection and then we got perfection. How about that? Let's give ourselves a little fist massage and tell our legs thank you for working so hard for us. And then we're a no tension zone, right? So in our cool downs, we gather tension. We don't like that way that feels. We let it go. Gather and release. Gather and release. One more. Gather and release. Big shoulder circle up and push down. Up and down. Inhale and exhale. And then at the end, I always like to make our fist with this hand that represents our strength, our friendship with our fingers upright touching each other, and our humility. Strength, friendship, and humility. And we put that together, and in mutual respect, we say namaste.
Namaste.
Thank y'all so much. I appreciate y'all challenging me. I appreciate you telling me, hey, will you do this? Because that's going to help me. Because that's what I'm here for. I'm here to help you. I like to be challenged.
Just remember, Jennifer, we are senior citizen, okay?
Hey, y'all are my favorite people on the planet. I will see y'all next Thursday, and y'all let me know in the meantime if you need anything. I did remember to push record, so I'll be able to upload this to the YouTube, and it's gonna say SOWEGA February 24th. That way I know that you're SOWEGA and today's date. So if
Okay.
you want to go to rewatch this class, then that's where you can find it on my YouTube channel, okay?
Okay.
All right,
Okay.
thank y'all. Y'all enjoy the week and I'll see you next week.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.